I'll give you the best of both there with the bricks and mortar to match the virtual. So seriously, we're excited, East Forsyth High School, to have set the ribbon cutting now for July 17th. As you'll see in the photos, we're extremely well positioned for that. Again, a 90-acre site. So the only remaining landscaping is in this area, and we're finishing out the striping of the pavement and lots. This is the back view of the property. We have 6 tennis courts, 3 areas, 2 courts each, and the practice field. Given the land constraints, this is a little different than Denmark. We've got the grass field, but this measures 350 by 240 lineal feet, so very significant turf field. Now that we finally got a break in the weather, we are topping all of those athletic surfaces. I skipped it over, but you see the building envelope is complete. Another side view, a little more of the property developed. Very exciting, we've got the football done, and not only physically to have that done, but in getting with Jeff Cheney and Matt Hollis, athletic director, we're ready for May football. So, we're extremely sensitive to community student athletes starting the school spirit even before academics begin. So we have 10 different buildings on this campus, so we have 10 different building permits. There's 31 inspections required for each building. So a long way of saying, out of the 90 acres, 450,000 square feet, the final inspections are well underway depending on which building element you're at. But the athletic storage starts taking place April 1st to be ready for the student athletes coming May 1st, plus minus. And with that, much of the FF&E is already coordinated beyond construction, getting with Steve Langston, Brad Richardson, Jeff Cheney, such that the furniture flow, followed by security cameras, access controls, information technology, CTAE, all of that is being proactively planned for seamless transition. And probably important to add, given the complexity of the high school, fortunately, that's where we're starting with. ACE follows with all those same elements and processes, and then we'll be doing that with Hendricks. So a couple of the quick interior shots. The performing arts, or not performing arts, but auditorium is coming together. This is the media center. Gymnasium, the bleachers are now installed. That's what you see down on the floor a week ago, and for the most part, we're well underway with installation of that. Gymnasium, typical hallway. The grand hallway, just put that in a little bit different aesthetically with what we're doing. From a technical perspective, really pleased with the width that we've added for student flow. A nice design feature. So that was east. So then moving to ACE, as I said, all of those same processes will happen with certificate of occupancy in April, followed by all of the FF&E and other elements that have to occur for the building. We'll be finishing out the landscaping this month. You see the building envelope is substantially complete. And a couple interior shots. This was taken, just a couple days ago because we need to give this to you Thursday. And if you go out there today, it's all carpeted. The LVT flooring is in. The ceiling tile is in. Wish I could give you a real-time photo, but just to give you a feel for the speed of how we're progressing. A typical classroom. You see we're ready. A little bit different. We're doing the polished concrete in the floors. So we are well positioned on ACE with projected certificate of occupancy in April. Performing Arts Center, that work is so much more complicated, both from a technical perspective, the complication of it. So, remember, this turns over, opens in late fall, unlike the other April certificates of occupancy. It moves a little slower given that complexity, as you can see with some of the detail even on the exterior wall, and certainly the interior rigging, the staging, all of what's got to go into that. And priority being right now, opening obviously of East, ACE, Hendricks, and immediately after that we'll show you the interior shots of Focal coming together. Similarly, on Hendricks, you see the building envelope complete. Most importantly, we got the playing field in. That's always important to us, given the rooting of the turf, to give it extra months before the student athletes get on it for safety. But the landscaping, obviously a little challenged with the weather we've been having, but over the next 2 months we'll finish the landscaping. And some interior shots, you see, and again, I don't want to show you the classrooms over and over again, but for the most part, the classrooms are well underway. Basketball's always a little different, or I should say the gymnasium. Interior hallway, the administration area, and we're set for July 24th ribbon cuttings for Hendricks and Ace. So that leaves us then with New Hope Elementary School. Always tough for an aerial to show you. If you remember, we had a 70-foot difference from the high side to the low side here. Now we've got a 7-foot difference. So all that cut and fill has transpired. This gray area that you see, that's always, as you've heard me say before, that's the challenge, rock, dynamite, blast areas. Working through those challenges, this is where the foundation wall exists, separating the higher portion of the level of New Hope and then the 2-story lower level. But we're well underway, and steel, again, we've got to get the foundations in during February to be ready for mid-March steel, which is both happening behind the scenes, all that engineering. Not a real photogenic shot, so that's the foundation wall. Which then brings us to the remaining projects, really in the capital program, as well as what we're going to be doing the balance of the year. So for the South Forsyth turf maintenance building, we'll be recommending the GC to you in the next formal board meeting next Tuesday. Hill Center office renovations is along with 1130, 1140, had the pre-proposal conference today. The RFP is due later in February, and we'll be bringing that recommendation to you in the March board meeting. And then you see the various 5 CTAE projects. Because they're more of a simpler type delivery, that is a lump sum, so low bid, responsive bidder wins, as opposed to the best value qualifications for some of the more complicated deliveries. Any questions on the program?
I just want to say thank you to you and to Mr. Warwick also, because we continue to being a good neighbor, talking with people in the community, especially over in Hendricks, and very responsive. Matt does a great job, and you do a great job being a good neighbor through this process. So we continue to address their concerns and help them out and talk with them. So thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Good.
you. It's such a
Thank you.
hard to believe that East is, like, in a couple months, going to have sports going on there.
Yeah, that's fun.
Darla, you excited? That's great news. All right, thank you.